Hi Capricorn, I hope that you're all doing well. This reading is going to be for you as far as what's going to be occurring over the next 3 days. We're starting off first with Page of Wands. It looks like you're getting closer to something. Okay. This looks like there is a connection, a relationship. I get the notion even of this being sort of tackled, like that being the approach to this. So this can be that you're going to be partnering up with somebody, you're going to be working with somebody. It can mean that there is a relationship that you're going to be paying attention to. This can even be like you're going to go on a day trip with somebody, or you're going to maybe start a project with somebody. Or this can even be about feeling excited to see somebody or to be interacting with them. This can also feel like it adds more to your plate as well. This is feeling more like the start of something a bit. Page of Wands is feeling to me kind of like what you want to be doing with this person. Something may have needed to be spoken about, agreed upon, understood, communicated in order for everything to move forward. Because Page of Wands always feels like it has a bit of an agenda to me of like, I want to do this, or I'm excited about this happening, or this is my intention. There's usually something that we feel attracted to experiencing, or doing or accomplishing. There's generally that sense of like excitement about something, or that intention being there about something, or like I want to make this happen, or I want to get to be in this position. And it looks like it has to do with this person that you're connecting with, like something that you guys are doing with one another. And this can even be exploring the relationship, or exploring the dynamic, exploring the partnership, and feeling excited about whatever this is that's going to be unfolding with you and this person. And then I'm seeing, it looks like you could have touched base with them, needed to communicate with them about something. This could also be you linking up with something or someone as well, where there's sort of a, we're in this together now. And now I'm also seeing things move forward. So maybe there needed to be a conversation before things move forward, or something needed to be worked out or communicated or cleared, something of that nature. And then I'm understood, and then I'm seeing things move forward. And it feels too like it's moving forward in a way where this feels like there is solid moves that are being made, solid blocks that are being placed down when it comes to the structure that you were building with this person. I'm seeing something that had to be worked out. Now I'm seeing you be moving past this, but it looks like what was going on before is that you could have this thing that's happening now, you could have wanted this to be happening before, but for some reason something was going on where you could have doubted if this would work or not. I think that this has to do with like you, how you're perceiving yourself, sort of what you're capable of in this instance. You could have been feeling for some reason like you weren't feeling your best. Because I'm feeling this Five of Pentacles be like feeling there was some type of block or some type of doubt. This can be something that was in the environment. It can be something that was going on with you, the way that you were seeing things. There could have been something where like you wanted to be with this person or work together with this person, but just could have had your doubts because of what was going on. Because this even feels like, hey, we're here and we're doing something, but now there's a concern that I'm experiencing and I'm not sure how this is going to work. But now I'm seeing you guys did whatever you needed to do to be able to move forward. But there definitely was a block that I'm seeing here happening. And I wonder too, for some of you, if this was like on one person's end. But then it ended up impacting sort of the whole thing that you have going on together. Where there could have been this like, are we going to be able to make it? Is this going to be possible? But now that being resolved, like this has been resolved, we can move forward now. It's not an obstacle anymore, or whatever needed to be worked out has been worked out now. Breaking through whatever that was. I get the feeling of Queen of Wands going into Five of Pentacles, and that can feel like somebody feeling at their best and then like taking a bit of a tumble and then feeling like I'm not doing so hot right now, like I'm not doing great right now. Because I see Queen of Wands as being sort of like when we feel like we're in our prime. And so things are flowing and we're showing up, and there aren't a bunch of things that are really getting in our way, and it feels good the way that we're showing up. And then having something happen that feels like it pushes us out of that space, and then this relationship that looked like was impacted by that going on. So it feels like being at the top of the world and then being like pushed all the way down something. So you can feel for some reason like there was an elevation difference energetically. Why would this have happened? I wonder too if there can be a confidence like on one's own, but then when it comes to or happens to connect with you and this person, maybe that's where the struggle is. Because Queen of Wands can be somebody that, like, this is an independent energy. So this is somebody that's like, I gotta figure it out. But then when it comes to having to work together with another person, maybe that's like where the issue was. So this person maybe doesn't have an issue like sort of working independently or doing things independently and showing up. But when it comes to something about having to be together in this unit, maybe that's where this sort of comes from. It's like more of a partnership issue rather than an individual issue, but then that's kind of an individual issue as well, because our individual issues are going to be brought into partnership. So maybe partnerships just in general triggered this. I feel too like maybe one wanted things to happen more quickly, because I'm seeing Temperance come out. So this is like, I need to learn how to adjust. I need to be open to learning, to working this out. And I'm not just on my own here. Because Queen of Wands is that part of us that we want to do things the way that we want to do things. But then when you have this other person involved, there can be a difference of like even pace with fire. Because fire can say like, I want to get this done now, or I want to do this now, or why can't we do this now? And if not everything is aligning with that, because I'm seeing a Knight of Pentacles here, This can be like one person wanting to move fast and quick and another energy saying we got to take our time with this, or like that's my preference. So there can be a bit of a clashing with preferences, but then needing to meet in the middle, it seems. This feels like something that really tests one's patience. And that could have fell back on one feeling like if things aren't happening quickly or like at the pace, because Queen of Wands may not think it's quick. Queen of Wands can say like, this is a pace that's normal for me. But then if the partnership isn't reflective of the pace that Queen of Wands sees as being normal, Queen of Wands can maybe feel insecure then, or like something's wrong then, or like, is this gonna work? Are we gonna make it? What's gonna happen here? So it feels like there's a time adjustment, a timeline adjustment. And something even that needed to be waited out rather than immediately doing something. Okay. This looks like a centering now that's happening. Okay. There's a proposition for things to be worked out, to work together, open up into a more collaborative space that maybe wasn't happening before. I want to say this again when we have the Queen of Wands. That can be the part of us that's like, I want this to happen this way and I want it to be on my terms. Fire energy can be kind of bossy and have preferences. It doesn't have to be, but it can be, especially because we have the Queen of Wands here. So this can be like Queen of Wands. I'm used to getting my own way. Sometimes can be, especially like in an interpersonal way. This can be like, I'm used to being the one that's in control, and then when you have to be working with another person, there can be something else that's going on here. And it even looks like there was a little bit of a pause or a recovery, and then sort of a solid move forward being made, but not going really fast, but being solid, being dependable, and that being kind of the shift that's happening. And this even feels like things are being built the right way rather than just doing it quickly and then feeling kind of unstable because we moved too fast together. This path is a collaborative one. This path is an amicable one. This path is a growing and learning and expanding through cooperation, through listening, through tuning in, rather than solely being on one's own. It's great to have preferences. There's also a need to be flexible when you are working with another person. When you are interacting, when it comes to a relationship that you have with another person, there's a need for consideration here that maybe wasn't initially happening, and that was what the problem was. It wasn't that there's something wrong with the dynamic. It feels more so like the attitude that one is sort of coming at this with, because I'm looking at Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. This can be some really sort of prevalent ideas about how things work, but coming from more of a, I'm just seeing myself and my own preferences, and a lack of consideration for this being a collaborative energy when you have the Lovers. You have two there, not just one. And the notion is to collapse two into one, but not from a place of being like, this is just how I want it to go, and then there's no consideration for the other piece of the puzzle. It needs to be collapsing properly into one another when we go from two to one, when it goes from you and this person into a unit with one another. So this is like, if you're like, if you are red and this other person is blue, it's not going to collapse and just the whole thing be red, your own color. It's going to be like what you guys mix when you're together with one another. rather than it just being one side. It feels like needing to meet in the middle here. That has to happen rather than being like, because Queen of Wands too can be like everything gets like pulled into my zone and my territory and my preferences, and being like that about it when there's more of a meeting in the middle that needs to happen, which I don't think that that was necessarily what was happening before. And that's what sort of needed to be addressed here so that things could move forward and settle down. And so there can also be peace of mind as well. Also, too, rather than just one person being like, I'm getting what I want, and then that not being the preference for everybody involved. There can be a need for compromise too, and communication and working together and actually putting in solid effort into the cooperation and the collaboration and the active listening and the active communication that's happening. The like, oh, we're actually working together here rather than one person like bossing everybody around. And then like throwing a fit too when things aren't just on their own terms. It's about working together and learning how to collaborate. And this can also be like checking expectations and belief systems and what we're used to and habits and patterns. There's like a whole lot of that that's going on around here. Anything else? This does feel like a little bit of a style shifting that's happening, but in a way where there's a growing and a consideration here as well, and that being a wonderful thing to see. Because this doesn't seem like an individual project here. This looks like a sort of a group project that's happening with you and this person, and exploring the unknowns. Does look like things are back on track if they weren't feeling like that before. Some stuff is still being figured out, and that's all right. Whoever is identified with the Queen of Wands could have felt like this really put them in a tailspin, and there was a lot that needed to sort of be worked out, like the process mentally. And where one had been immovable from a stubborn place, allowing for more flexibility. It's that notion where if you want collaboration, you have to be in a collaborative space yourself. Collaboration doesn't work where you're like, I just want them to agree with what I'm saying, and I'm seeing that as collaboration. And not that we do that purposefully or consciously, but sometimes we don't realize that we're like, I want them to bend, and I want them to work with me, and I want them to compromise, and then you realize that you're not so much compromising. So this is also coming to a place of self-awareness as well, that if you're like asking somebody to be in an energy, you also need to be in that space too, and that can inspire cooperation, and that being part of this. All right, my friends, we're gonna leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.